You guys have been asking us for this one. Today we're going to be showing you how we prune our pomegranate trees. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you at the end of January in 2024. One of the things I want to talk about real quick right in the very beginning, we get a lot of questions on when you should prune certain trees. Now, pomegranates are one of the last trees that we prune. I mentioned the end of January. We already have peach trees that have broken dormancy. They're starting to flower and leaf out here at the end of January. Obviously, most of the country, there's still a few months before that happens, but not here in Arizona. So climates like ours, you'll be pruning your pomegranates just a little bit later. So these are deciduous trees. Once these trees have completely lost their leaves, they do that on their own, even here in Arizona. You know it's about time to get pruning. In fact, we have one piece of fruit that's still left on the tree behind me here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick harvest of that one. Let's look and see what the seeds look like inside. So you can see just a beautiful deep red color here in these areoles at the end of January. Not sure how this one survived. Weren't paying attention, obviously. And they, good. Sort of a tart, bitter, sweet. Tastes like a pomegranate. But ultimately, you can see you've got a ripe pomegranate here at the end of January, but still time to get this tree pruned. Because the reality is, we're gonna start getting growth out of these trees here very, very shortly. So when it comes to pruning pomegranate trees, it's really actually very, very simple. One thing I will say is, in climates like ours, they're basically ideal for pomegranates. So the reality is, you really don't even have to prune your pomegranate trees, but we do like to prune them for shape. We're doing a couple different tests to see how they do from a production standpoint with different shapes. But honestly, you don't have to do anything. So one of the first things we're going to show you is just how we like to clean up a naturally growing pomegranate tree. This first pomegranate tree that we're pruning here, this one we're really kind of leaving on its own. Essentially what we're doing is just cleaning up the bottom. We're trying to keep more of the vertical branching. These trees put on a lot of heavy fruit, especially for us here in Arizona. We've just found that production is not, it's really kind of a secondary concern because they overproduce all the time. The challenge is the weight of the fruit, especially on these younger trees. It's only been in the ground for 2 or 3 years and they grow like crazy. So I'm not as concerned about the water sprouts coming out of here, only because I know how much growth we're gonna get. I just want this to look like a beautiful fountain tree as it starts to set flowers and the fruit starts to pull the tree down. Just this beautiful looking tree. And again, still gonna get lots of production here in Arizona. So this next tree that we're gonna be pruning here, we actually had a little bit of a mishap with this one. A couple years ago, we had a microburst come through the farm, completely ripped this tree out of the ground, threw it a couple hundred feet from where I'm at now. And this tree, basically in a year and a half, has come back to its original size. So with this tree, we're trying something a little bit different. We're gonna basically get it down to multiple trunks. So we're gonna have basically a multi-trunk pomegranate tree on this design. So the last one we're gonna show you today as far as how we're doing a little bit of a different design. This is more of a traditional looking tree. It's hard to tell, but this was a single trunk when we were going into the summer of last year. Now, one of the things that you can do if you're gonna try to maintain this particular type of pomegranate tree or shape is to do a lot of summer pruning to get rid of all the sprouts at the base of the tree. Last year we didn't do that, so this year we're gonna see if we can get to that a little bit more to induce some more actual growth on the main trunk or tree itself. But for now, we need to get all of these water sprouts out of the way and take a look and see what the actual tree is gonna look like. This tree here will give you a really good idea of just how much growth these trees put on in one single season. This is the trunk minus this branch here, but this is the trunk that we cut it back to about a year ago. All of the growth that we just removed was all water sprouts that came through in the middle of the season. We did get some growth on the main trunk, but I think the key for this with us this year is gonna be coming through and pruning out a lot of those water sprouts as we get through the growing season. So this will give you an idea of 3 different ways that we're pruning our pomegranates here in Arizona. Do want to preface again, this is an ideal climate for pomegranates. So for us here, really truly guys, doesn't matter how you prune your pomegranate trees. You could probably just leave them alone, but we wanted to give this a shot to see if we see any difference in these 3 different pruning methods. Of course, one thing we know for sure, come this time next year, we'll probably still have some fruit left over and some wonderful red juice in the middle of winter. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on this newly established functioning farm in the Arizona desert and would love to see on a regular basis. If you have any questions or comments, those go in the comment section down below. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with the link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. Ow. I really don't like working with these. They're pointy. That just stuck me in the side of the head.
Did it really?
Yeah. Ow! Willow, really? Oh my goodness.
What'd she do?
She went up and scratched my back. I'm just gonna climb up it. Hey, get it. Watch out, kitty. Who is this? Is this Willow?
Yeah.
Hey, Willow. Girl, you're in my way.